Hey everyone, welcome to today's math lesson. Today we're going to be drawing clear and accurate fraction models. That's what today's lesson is all about, because I noticed the other day when you submitted your math assignments that I was having trouble figuring out your models because they weren't very clear or accurate. That's not your fault. You haven't had a teacher there to teach you how to do this, so here I am. So, first of all, I would like you to think about what is wrong with this model I'm about to create. There we go. Now you probably know just by looking at that that is not clear or accurate. What is the problem? Well, the problem is that fractions are about equal parts of one whole. Okay, the key word is equal. Are these parts equal? Absolutely not. If this was a candy bar and I gave this piece to Arush and I gave this piece to Haley, Arush's not going to be too happy because these are not equal parts, so they're not truly halves. So this is not the kind of model we want to be creating because it is not clear or accurate. Okay, so what do we do? How do we solve this problem? Well, first of all, you need to work slowly and carefully when you're creating your models. So, starting off, I'm going to show you the bar type of model, okay? I think in Eureka they are still calling it a tape diagram. Okay, this is my favorite model. I don't know why. I just enjoy drawing bar models to represent fractions. So I'm going to start off by creating a bar, or you might think of it as a tape diagram. Now, I'm going to work slowly. I'm actually pressing down on my pencil to try to get a nice straight line. Okay, I want to try to make this as accurate as I can. Is it going to be perfect? Of course not. I'm human. We're all human. We can't make them perfect, but we can give it a good try, right? If you have a straight edge around, if you have a ruler, it can be helpful, but not necessary. Okay, I'm going to start off again trying to create halves. I want to show that two halves make a whole. So I'm going to look carefully at this and I'm thinking about where is the center point. I want to split this right in half. Okay, pretty good. Is it perfect? No, but it's pretty good, right? Now, what if instead of showing halves, I wanted to show fourths? I would still start like this. I wouldn't try to just draw 4 equal pieces. I would start with halves, just like this, and then I would take each half and split that in 2 pieces. Ta-da! Pretty good, right? I'm feeling proud of my work. Now suppose I wanted to show the whole as eighths. I would not start with a bar and try to split it into 8 equal parts. That would be difficult. I would start with halves, and then I would create fourths, just like I've done here. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to take each fourth and split it in half. And then I have my eighths. And as you can probably guess, if I split over half again, I'll have 16ths. I probably wouldn't go any further than that because at that point, those pieces are getting too small, right? So there you go. I'm pretty proud of that. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Miss C, that's all well and good, but you were working with very even numbers there. What if you're starting with an odd number of parts, like thirds? Okay, yes, that gets trickier, but not impossible. So let me start again. I'm going to draw a bar. Again, I'm pressing down a bit on my pencil to try to get a nice straight line. Pretty good, right? Now, this time, thirds. I'm not going to be able to split it in half because, you know, 3 is an odd number. So the good thing is I can look at this and kind of picture, I can visualize 3 parts, 3 equal parts. So I'm going to give it a try, remembering I have an eraser. I'm going to do this and this. How's that? Not too bad, but guess what? If they didn't look like equal parts, I would probably erase and try again. At this point, I've got thirds. What if I wanted this to be ninths? Well, I wouldn't just start with a bar and try to divide it into 9 equal parts. That would be very difficult. I'm going to start by creating thirds, and then I'm going to take each third and divide it into 3 equal parts, because 3 times 3 is 9. So I'm only focusing on this first third right now and dividing it into 3 equal parts. And then I'm going to do the same with the second third, and then the same with the third third, and guess what? There you go, ninths. Nice, clear, accurate model. Is it perfect? No, but it's good. All right, so next, what if it's a little trickier than thirds? What if it's fifths? Okay, I have a strategy for that. I hope you like it. So here we go. I'm going to draw my bar again. Okay, now fifths. I can't split it in half because 5 is an odd number. I'm going to find the halfway mark, but I'm going to move it over a little bit like this. I got to tell you, this doesn't always work out perfectly for me. I have to do a little erasing, but this is what I do. And then I think of it as 5 as 3 parts and 2 parts. The 2 parts is easy. I just split it in half. The 3 parts is going back to making thirds. I want to look at just this piece right now and think about dividing it into 3 equal parts. Now, this piece looks too small. That's going to bother me a little bit, but luckily I have my eraser. I'm going to move this over a little bit and move this one over a little bit. Okay, and there we go. There, now I have my fifths. Okay, if I wanted to make this into tenths, I would start with these fifths, and then I would split each fifth in half to make tenths. Okay, now I would like you to pause this video, and I would like you to take a piece of paper. You can use the paper that we sent home in the blue folder, those math sheets, blank math sheets that we sent home, or if you have just some plain paper like I'm using here, and I'd like you to practice what I just showed you. Practice creating bar models to represent different fractions. Pause the video, and then as soon as you feel comfortable with creating halves and fourths and eighths and thirds and fifths, come back and turn the video back on and watch the rest of the lesson. Okay, hopefully you took some time to practice creating beautiful, clear, accurate bar models. Now I'm going to show you how to use bar models to show equivalent fractions. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I'm going to start with a bar model. Pressing down on that pencil to show 1/2. Now when I shade it, I'm going to shade it kind of lightly like this because I really want to see that outside part, right? That's really important to see the part on the outside. So there we go. Now, next, I want to show how many fourths are equivalent to 1/2. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create another bar. I'm actually going to connect it just like this so I can make it the same size, right? Because in fractions, it's all about equal parts, right? And I'm going to once again split it in half and shade a half. Okay, let me label this over here. This is showing 1/2 right there. So now I want to show fourths though, and this is showing halves. I'm going to take each half and I'm going to split it in half, just like that. So now you can see that 1/2 is equal to 2/4. Let's suppose we want to take that even further and see how many eighths are equivalent to 1/2 and 2/4. I'm going to extend that bar down. I'm going to start with my half, just like I did before, shade it in. Then I'm going to split those into 2 parts so that I have fourths. But now I want to show eighths. So I'm going to take each fourth, I'm going to split it in half. And now you can see that 1/2 is equal to 2/4, which is equal to 4/8. Okay, now, what's the same? What's different here? What is the same? Think about it. If these were candy bars and Jacob ate this much of a candy bar and Ava ate this much of a candy bar and John ate this much of a candy bar, they all ate the same amount. So what's the same? Well, the fractional part stays the same. It's the same amount. So then the question is, what's different? Well, the number of pieces and the size of the pieces. Right? Now, how can we be impressive by writing number sentences to represent, to go with this model? Well, I can start with half, and I can show that that half that I started with is equal to 1/4 plus 1/4 right here, which of course is equal to 2/4, which is equal to 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8, which is equal to, of course, 4/8. So that means that 1/2 is equal to 2/4, which is equal to 4/8, and 1/2 is equal to 4/8. Impressive, right? Okay.